Did you know that the human brain can store an astonishing 2.5 petabytes of information? That's equivalent to about 3 million hours of your favorite TV shows. Now, let's talk language. There are over 7,000 languages spoken around the globe, but only 23 of them have more than 50 million speakers. Imagine the diversity in communication. Moving on to dreams, on average, we experience 4 to 6 dreams every night. That's a lot of adventures happening while we sleep. And here's a mind-blowing fact about our genes. If we laid them all out in a line, they would wrap around the Earth more than 2 times. Lastly, recent research shows that just 10 minutes of physical activity a day can significantly boost your health. So, whether it's a brisk walk or a quick workout, every little bit counts. All people on Earth share a staggering 99.9% of the same DNA. It's incredible to think that despite our differences, we're all so closely related at a genetic level. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about minerals. These natural resources are not just pretty rocks, they're essential for production and technology, powering everything from our smartphones to our cars. And speaking of unique records, have you heard about the person with the longest hair? Their hair measures over 5 meters long. Just imagine the dedication it takes to maintain that length. Isn't it fascinating how these facts connect us and showcase the wonders of our world? That the largest crater on Earth is the Vredefort crater in South Africa? It's a staggering 2 billion years old and spans over 300 kilometers. Now, if you think about extremes, Kuwait holds the record for the highest average temperature on our planet, reaching a blistering 54 degrees Celsius. Imagine that heat! And while we're pushing boundaries here on Earth, mankind is taking its first steps on Mars. It's fascinating to think that we've sent numerous devices to explore the red planet, paving the way for future missions. Earth is truly a remarkable place, filled with wonders that connect us to the cosmos. So that the first cars were hand-assembled, making each one a unique masterpiece? Imagine the craftsmanship that went into those early models. And speaking of unique, car tires were originally made of leather, who would have thought? Fast forward to today, and we see about 6 million minor accidents on US roads every year. That's a staggering number. Now, picture this, the first cars had no brakes. Stopping them was a real workout. Finally, in 1914, the conveyor method revolutionized car production, making it faster and more efficient than ever before. It's fascinating to see how far we've come in the automotive world. That our sense of smell is incredibly powerful? People can distinguish over 1 trillion different scents. Imagine wandering through a bustling market, the aroma of spices and street food swirling around you. It's a sensory adventure. And speaking of adventures, let's talk minerals. They fall into 2 main categories, fuel and metallurgical. Fuel minerals are essential for energy, while metallurgical minerals are the backbone of industries, shaping everything from buildings to technology. Now, if you're looking for a vibrant experience, nothing beats the carnivals in Rio de Janeiro. This festival is the largest in the world, attracting millions of participants and spectators. The energy, the music, the dazzling costumes, it's a celebration of life that you simply can't miss. The very first Nobel Prize in Physics, awarded in 1901, went to Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen for his groundbreaking discovery of X-rays. This revolutionary finding not only transformed medical diagnostics but also opened up new avenues in physics. Then there's Simon Kuznets, an economist whose work on economic theory earned him a Nobel Prize as well. His insights into economic growth and income distribution have shaped our understanding of modern economies. And let's not forget Dario Frumo, who embraced the fascinating theory of multiple universes. His ideas challenge our perception of reality and push the boundaries of scientific thought. These remarkable contributions remind us of the incredible impact scientists have on our world. Know that car series are often produced in limited quantities? This strategy keeps them exclusive and desirable, making them true collector's items. Now, let's talk about power and efficiency. Many modern cars are turning to diesel engines, which not only boost performance but also help reduce fuel consumption. It's a win-win for both speed enthusiasts and eco-conscious drivers. And here's a surprising fact, about 20% of new cars in Germany are now electric or hybrid. This shift is reshaping the automotive landscape, making greener choices more accessible. Isn't it fascinating how cars are evolving? Know that the shortest day of the year happens on December 21st? That's when we get the least amount of sunlight. In contrast, June 21st boasts the longest day, giving us plenty of time to enjoy the outdoors. Now, if you venture to the polar regions during winter, you might experience something called polar nights, where the sun doesn't rise for days on end. It's a fascinating phenomenon. And speaking of fascinating, let's talk about the Earth's inner core. It's primarily made of iron and nickel, and can reach temperatures of around 5,000 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than the surface of the sun. Isn't it amazing how much there is to learn about our planet? Know that the Earth's atmosphere is a fascinating blend, composed of 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen? It's incredible to think that about 90% of this atmosphere is packed into the first 16 kilometers above us. Now, let's take a trip around the globe. Earth is home to 7 continents: Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia. Each one is unique and bursting with life. Speaking of heights, the highest point on our planet is Mount Everest, towering at an impressive 8,848 meters. And let's not forget our vast oceans. There are 5 of them: the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic, and Southern. Together, they cover more than 70% of the Earth's surface, making our planet a true blue marvel. That Earth is the 3rd planet from the Sun? It's fascinating! With an average radius of about 6,371 kilometers, it's the only place in the universe where life is known to exist. Covering approximately 510 million square kilometers, Earth is a vast and diverse planet. What's even more intriguing is that around 71% of its surface is covered by water, making it a blue planet. And if you think that's deep, the Mariana Trench is the deepest point on Earth, plunging down to an astonishing 10,994 meters. Earth truly is a remarkable place, full of wonders waiting to be explored. That Miley Cyrus worked in a toy store as a child? She loved playing with dolls, which is quite a contrast to her bold persona today. Then there's Jim Carrey, a comedic genius who actually suffers from claustrophobia. It's fascinating to think that someone so funny has a fear of enclosed spaces. Tom Hanks, on the other hand, is a bit of a nostalgic collector. He owns a real radio pager and uses it as an antique. How cool is that? Katy Perry started her career as a child singer in a church choir and even recorded a Christian album before hitting it big in pop music. Lastly, Ellen DeGeneres has a whimsical side when it comes to naming her pets. She calls them Wonder and Adventure. These fun facts remind us that even celebrities have their unique quirks and histories. So that the Earth's outer core is actually liquid? It's this molten layer that generates our planet's magnetic field, protecting us from harmful solar radiation. Now, let's dive deeper literally. The mantle beneath our feet is a staggering 2,900 kilometers thick, composed mainly of silicon, oxygen, magnesium, and iron. It's like a giant, slow-moving conveyor belt driving tectonic activity. And here's a surprising twist: about 75% of the fresh water on Earth is locked away in glaciers. That's right, while we think of oceans and rivers, the majority of our fresh water is chilling in icy reserves. Isn't it fascinating how much is happening beneath the surface? Know that the highest speed record for a production car is an astonishing 300 miles per hour? That's right, the Bugatti Chiron Supersport 300 Plus achieved this mind-blowing feat. And speaking of unique vehicles, the Aeromobile is the only production car that can actually fly, merging the worlds of aviation and automotive engineering. In 2020 alone, around 77 million cars were produced worldwide, showcasing the immense scale of the automotive industry. On top of that, more than 18 million tons of steel car bodies are manufactured every year, highlighting the material's importance in car production. As we look ahead, electric cars are set to revolutionize the market, with projections suggesting they will account for 58% of total sales by 2040. The future of driving is not just fast, it's also green. Know that the fuel for the very first cars was actually a mix of gasoline and oil? It's fascinating to think about how far we've come since those early days of motoring. Fast forward to 2019, and there were around 1.4 billion cars cruising around the globe. That's a staggering number, isn't it? And if you've ever wondered what sets luxury cars apart, it's often their sophisticated cooling systems. Many of them use water or oil coolers to keep their engines running smoothly. It's all about performance and comfort, making every ride a pleasure. Cars have truly evolved into incredible machines. Know that the Earth spins on its axis once every 24 hours? That's right! This incredible rotation is what gives us day and night. Imagine the speed over 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. Now, let's talk about extremes. In some parts of the world, like the Atacama Desert, it can go years without a single drop of rain. That's a dry spell that would make anyone thirsty. Speaking of dryness, deserts cover about 15% of our planet's surface. That's a vast expanse of sand and sun, showcasing nature's ability to adapt and thrive in the harshest conditions. Earth is full of surprises, isn't it? That the Pacific Ocean is a colossal giant, covering over 63 million square miles? That's more than all the land masses combined. It's not just vast, it's also home to some of the deepest trenches on the planet. Now, let's talk about energy. A staggering 99.97% of the energy we rely on comes from the sun. It's like our very own cosmic power plant, fueling life on Earth. And speaking of extremes, the temperature on our planet can swing wildly from a bone-chilling -88 degrees Celsius in the East Antarctic Plateau to a scorching 56.7 degrees Celsius in Death Valley, USA. Earth is truly a place of incredible contrasts and wonders.